Kohalo Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone who rule well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. This is a quick one, and she hits some pretty excellent points that can translate through all walks of life. Truly, truly all walks of life. And the most obvious, right? The surface level is what she's going to go into with technology. So we'll let her talk. We'll make a couple of points, and prayerfully, this is edifying to somebody. Especially if you're newer into this and you're coming in with with AI and all this other stuff that you have at your fingertips. And sometimes it's just good to get into a book, get these older books with references, and go find stuff. Right there, you need to go look. All right, laziness will not help you. You have to go find something. You have whatever you're looking for, go find it, especially in this word. This is a labor of love, okay? Wisdom. You must be in love with wisdom. That should be your love, your first woman, Sophia. All right, and we'll get there. I'll add that to the scriptures that I already have in mind. But I think I'm going to do my best to let it play all the way through first, and then we're going to let it play again and get it. I'll do my best. All right.
Another risk factor of technology that we probably didn't really think about was how the advancement of technology and machines increase our yearning for speed and efficiency. Okay, funny story about speed and efficiency. Merleau had already clocked decades ago how there seems to be a psychological connection between speed and ruthlessness. Did you know? He says that through this, we see another denial of natural, steady growth. This is because, naturally speaking, growth is a process that is inherently steady and slow. Ideas and methods need time to mature. He says this is dangerous because eventually tech will symbolize our systematic denial that progress must grow within us before it can be realized outside of ourselves. As a result, we condition ourselves for easy, automatic answers instead of accepting this slow, steady, perhaps harder process of growth. We sacrifice growth and struggle for convenience and complacency. Sure, it's easier, but we neither learn nor grow anything substantial from it. Merleau even calls the concept of efficiency a, a modern fallacy. He says on efficiency, with less energy, more has to be produced. This principle may be right for the machine, but it is not true for the human organism. After all, in order to become strong and to remain strong, humans have to learn to overcome resistances, to face challenges, and to test ourselves again and again. Luxury causes both mental and physical atrophy.
Absolutely true. And that was hard for me not to stop. There were so many things, so many things. This video could easily be 4 hours long. But we're not going to do that. Obviously, I'm going to do my best to sum this up, but it is so many things that we need to get. And off the dribble, efficiency equaling ruthlessness is one of the main things, or one of the main scriptures that came to mind is Revelation 12:12, where this devil we live in a microwave society. All right, Job 9:24 tells you what, always the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, which means the earth is in their vibration, and they are all about quick and microwave results. And then you see that's something that you especially when you come to understand this truth, and you have to unlearn that. You have to completely throw off Western thinking and everything that you've learned. And that is why it talks about when you're a babe in this truth, you come in not knowing anything. and you have to desire the sincere milk. Okay, you come in and you grow from the milk, and you onto the steak, onto the meat, right? But that microwave society, that microwave mentality will destroy you. You will, if you're trying to, choose steak as a newborn in this truth, you will eventually choke and die. And that's also the parable where it talks about planting a seed on good ground, right? So that it can grow. You have to plant a seed in good soil and cultivate it. You have to pay attention to it. You have to water it. You have to make sure the sun, it gets enough sun, or maybe not too much sun. You have to pay close attention. That is why the scriptures always talk about things of husbandry and farming and grafting, right? Things like that, because it is a slow process and it requires attention to detail. When to prune. You have to look at what branches are unprofitable, and you have to cut those so that your fruit, that plant can divert energy from growing to these offshoots to the producing fruit. There's scriptures in that. But let me just get the one I said I was going to get here about ruthlessness and efficiency. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, and he's always about getting things done quickly. And it is never a good idea. You miss vital steps. You miss vital opportunities for growth, vital opportunities to learn more than what you already set out to do. So let's start it over, and we'll pause when we need to pause.
Another risk factor of technology that we probably didn't really think about was how the advancement of technology and machines increase our yearning for speed and efficiency. Okay, funny story about speed and efficiency. Merleau had already clocked decades ago how there seems to be a psychological connection between speed and ruthlessness. Did you know? He says that through this, we see another denial of natural, steady growth. This is because, naturally speaking, growth is a process that is inherently steady and slow. Ideas and methods need time to mature. He says this is dangerous because eventually tech will symbolize our systematic denial that progress must grow within us before it can be realized outside of ourselves.
Exactly. So now with the advent of, or not necessarily advent, but with the revelation or bringing out or the coming to fruition of the Revelation 13 and 16, that plays perfectly into the minds of these brain dead people. They don't want to work for anything. Everything just must be given. And, Babylon is an excellent drug dealer. She does it well, right? They've given you all these things, and then they're going to snatch it and then say, here, I can bring it back and even more efficiently. Even things of language learning. Learning a language is a beautiful thing as well. What you do, you need to be doing it within learning the scriptures, like etymology of words. It's a beautiful thing because you continue to grow. Now not only have you expanded your vocabulary, but you have gained a deeper understanding of a surface level topic that you never would have thought had you not looked into it. Okay, this is going to be James 1:4, especially about being patient and allowing things to grow. All right, and this is one of my favorite chapters here because it reminds me that sometimes you just have to get comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, right? Because it forces you to look inward. You have to be introspective, and you correct what is wrong. Sometimes, the Lord will occasionally let you sit in an uncomfortable situation because you need to be introspective. I say it twice because it is a foot stomp thing. We all have to go through it. Some of us have to go through it more than once because, Jake is hard-headed, right? But That is how you see a lot of people get addicted to things. You get addicted to the that scrolling demon, or what they call doom scrolling, because you're not being honest with yourself. You get stuck into a point to where inaction feels comfortable, and you seek that pleasure, that I don't even know how to put it in words, but you seek something that is easy and doesn't require you to move. Sometimes you just have to get up and do whatever it is that you need to do. Seek that discomfort, seek that growth. Because the more you search comfortability, the more you search for that dopamine release, because you are moved to be, or I guess that's an oxymoron, you're moved to be immobile. You're moved to be inactive because it's easier. And that's how you get addicted to things. That's how you start turning to the bottle. Or that's how you start turning to how drug addicts become drug addicts sometimes. All right, barring there's no, underlying traumatic event, right? But I say all that. That was a long, or a roundabout way of saying get comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Reflect and grow. Correct what needs to be corrected, right? That is, again, cutting off the unprofitable things that you don't need, that hinders your growth. This is James 1, at the top. James, a servant of Yahweh and of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. And that is the theme here. Patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. All right, if you try to do the quick way around, you will be wanting for plenty of things. There will be holes. There will be chinks in your armor, right? There will be, you'll get dry rot in your soil, and your roots will wither away, and your plant will die. Therefore, you cannot produce fruit. Okay? That ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Now, that wisdom that is given to you, things are just not going to pop in your head, but you will get an inspiration. Or a brother will say something on a video, or you will read something, or you will see a video, and it will cause you, and it may just be unrelated to the truth, like the one I'm covering. And it will cause you to, get this little spark in your mind, and you'll go and you'll read and you'll look and you'll search, and you grow from that. You learn more. And in turn, there was an opportunity for you to exercise your faith. So when the next trial, when the next tribulation comes around, you can have something to look back on. Not only do you have the scriptures, right, because things that are written aforetime, written for your learning, but you have a personal experience to look back on and say, Yahweh Bashim El Shai God. I'm going to just pray and be patient, and and continue on in my search. Searching for wisdom, having chasing Sophia. All right, that is the woman you should chase. All right, that is the scripture you can read. I believe it's either in Wisdom of Solomon or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, but it goes in on a lot about searching for wisdom. Okay. What else did I say that we needed? We'll go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, because better is the end of a thing, right, than the beginning. And the end of a thing can go both ways. The end of this thing is what we have here, this awful existence. The end of it is going to be better, but also the completion, right? But sometimes also the journey of it, the chase is wonderful, but when you finally achieved it, there's joy in every part of the process when you take your time and let it work continue as it's supposed to. All right. So Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. All right. What you have here, when things are quick and come easily, you begin to be prideful. You begin to be boastful. You begin to think that you can accomplish things all on your own. But that's just not how it works, right? That is why, I'll say it verbatim, the body of Christ, right? But this is the body of the church. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has to contribute to something. Everybody has their own stone, and it's a cooperative effort, which is why you can, if you're looking for answers, you can just type in YouTube, GMS, and then whatever you want, and something will pop up. Nothing is done by one. And it makes me think of the anime. If you have ever watched Naruto, it goes back into the story, the telling of the reincarnates of the main character, which is the main antagonist, Naruto. I'm sorry, antagonist Sasuke, and the protagonist Naruto. But their initial incarnates are Ashura and Indra. Ashura was not very talented on his own, but he worked hard and he believed in cooperation with others, while Indra was naturally talented. And because he was naturally talented, he was very hasty. He was not sound in judgment. He was quick to be harsh. And he did not, he figured he can do things on his own. He did not build cooperation, and what's happened is he was sent, their father sent them each to a different village with the same problem. Ashura worked with the villagers to correct the problem that they have. There was a lack of water in a sense. You just have to go watch. And Indra was like, here, I gave them what they needed. Quick, easy, fast, in a hurry. Now, Indra's village, they fell into despair and they fought over what was given to them. Pure greed took over, while Ashura, who helped and worked with the people to build something, a lasting thing, the peace that was earned from that was, it was not easily broken. They were taught, right? He didn't just give them fish, he taught them how to fish. So hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down here. You have to be patient in this thing. You have to allow the processes of growth to do what they do, which is why in the beginning, when the Lord had created man and created beast and separated the waters, it wasn't just a quick snap of the finger. Things were allowed to grow, different bacteria, it was cultured and cultivated and it grew into something beautiful. Animals were allowed to mate and they grew into something beautiful and they populated. Man as well. And at the end here, when you read through Revelation 20, and you're supposed to read 1 through 3, skip 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm sorry, 4, 5, and 6, and then go to 7. Now, 4, 5, and 6 is when Yahushua returns and is that 1,000 years. Now, that is because the earth needs to be corrected from the mess that was made of it. A slow and deliberate process so that everything can be corrected and be perfect. The Lord is no fool, right? There is perfection. The creator of all things knows what he's doing, and you have to, seen and unseen, creator of all things, seen and unseen, knows what he's doing, and we just have to trust in him. I think we'll end it here on Psalms. I made quite a few points here and gotten quite a few scriptures. I think some, or maybe we'll get one in Proverbs too. But let's get 37 and 7, or is it 37 and 6? You know what? Yeah, 4. We'll read this highlighted portion. Delight thyself also in Yahweh, and he shall give thee desires of thy heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it into pass. And he shall bring forth the righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in Yahweh, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, right? Because you will be, impatience will cause you to make hasty decisions that go against what you are supposed to stand for. All right, so we'll get it. We'll end it in Proverbs 13. I think, I just don't know. Oh, yeah, we'll do 13 and 11. Because wealth can be a plethora of things. It's not just money, right? Wealth could be the desires of what your heart or you can replace wealth with this scripture with many different things because it fits in so many different instances, all right? I think, let me see, is it 11? Let's read 10. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well advised is wisdom. Yeah, I think it's 11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, right? Yeah, exactly. This is it. But he that gathereth by labor shall increase. And that goes into the story I just told of the anime in Naruto, with one brother being hasty and impatient, and the other doing it by cooperation. And it's a representation of the body, right? Building, each person putting their stone down. We'll do 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded, right? And everything you need is in here. As you can see, I tied in the video that we just covered with an anime and into the scriptures and how it all flows. Okay, so prayerfully you were edified by this, and I pray that you were moved to, whatever situation you're in, be patient. All right, if you are an uncomfortable situation, if you are in a bad way, be patient, but you also have to keep the faith. And that doesn't mean just sit there and just be like, well, the Lord will work it out. Take steps, do what you can, while whatever is in your control, do that and be patient.